What's up, guys, and welcome back to Wake Up Entertainment. So, Advocate Teffo has been speaking a lot in various interviews, and he has also been speaking with Patricia Mashale. And in one of those interviews, Advocate Teffo stated his intention to represent accused number one, Moses Sibiya, in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. So, Advocate Teffo was clarifying that his representation is going to be on a pro bono basis, as he does not want to be paid by legal aid. So Advocate Teffo was saying that legal aid, is not independent and can be influenced by various people with their own interests. So Advocate Teffo was believing that the current legal representation funded by legal aid is not doing its best to ensure that the accused are acquitted, because Advocate Teffo believes that these accused, they are actually innocent. The challenge that Advocate Teffo ran into is that he was barred from representing these accused. So Advocate Teffo is coming in and saying that he has spoken with all the families of the 5 accused, and he'll be on record for accused number 1 for the purpose of representing the main case. So Advocate Teffo spoke about all of this in that interview when there was confusion over who is going to be representing Moses Sibiya, after Advocate Mnisi had threatened to pull out from representing Moses Sibiya. So that's when Advocate Teffo stood up to lift his hand and say, I am available. And also another person who stood up is Advocate Tulo from the Daily Fix, who stood up and said, I am ready to represent Moses Sibiya. So now let's look at, can Advocate Teffo represent Moses Sibiya? Obviously, his current standing as an advocate, he was barred as a lawyer. But there is also some good news that we received from Advocate Tulo when he said that Advocate Teffo got a certificate in good standing and stuff like that. And another thing is that Advocate Teffo is going to require court approval. So even if Teffo's professional standing may have changed, if there is a dispute about it, he is going to need a court approval to reappear as a legal representative in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. So especially given that, dramatic withdrawal of Teffo that occurred some years back. Another interesting thing is the issue of the conflict of interest. Teffo has been saying that there is a conflict of interest, in Advocate Mnisi representing Moses Sibiya. So the court is obviously going to look at that, to see that is there no conflict of interest from the previous lawyers, and other issues like ethical considerations, for example, because in South Africa, advocates are required to act professionally and in the best interest of their clients in the administration of justice. So they are going to be looking at all of these issues, but there is obviously going to be communication between Teffo and Moses Sibiya and Advocate Mnisi. So overall, do I see Advocate Teffo representing Moses Sibiya? It's very unlikely for him to represent Moses Sibiya, unless if Advocate Mnisi pulls out and say, no, I cannot do this. Only that way then can Advocate Teffo be able to represent Moses